Welcome everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael. For those of you that are new, we're going to be talking about the cancers. We're going to be pulling from Moonology Manifestation deck, right? I do, as always, have a slight description that I would like to read for you guys coming from the cancer, coming from the, what's this called? The astrology deck, right? So we have Cancer, symbolized by the crab which seeks shelter in its inner shell. Cancers feel most supported in the comforts of their own home. Known for being intuitive, sensitive, and attuned to the cycles of the moon, they are often artistically and musically inclined. They are also extremely loyal and protective of those they care about, so much so that it can be hard to pull them away from their loved ones. Don't you dare mess with their friends or family, or else you'll get those pinchers, right? So that's just a slight description of the Cancers. Let me go ahead and show that to you guys so you guys can take a look at it. All right, so we're gonna be doing the deck of 8, right? My reason for it, I've came to the agreement for myself that is more about the infinity for me if I was to attach it in the spiritual enlightenment, right? So we're gonna be doing the deck of 8. Let's begin. All right, Spirit, what message do we have regarding our Oracle manifestation cards? Let's see what it is that we can manifest. So what Spirit would like, some affirmations maybe for us to keep on using, right? Spirit, what do we have? All right, the first one I'm drawn to is let your fears dissolve, right? Allowing those kind of those things that don't really feel positive in a sense, like things that are preventing you from starting a task, or resulting into you finishing up a task even, right? So it's important to let that stuff dissolve. One easy way, just keep working. Like, that's the most best way I could put it. Just keep working through it. Eventually, the more you do it, the less insecure about a topic you might feel, the less scary it could seem, things like that. So like for me, if I'm like recording videos, at first when I first started, even today, right, I still feel butterflies, or still feel insecure about some of the videos that I upload and things like that, but I just work through them, right? So when you work through them, eventually those moments, those fears, those insecurities, they eventually start to wash away, because you learn, you grow from them, and you kind of have to look at it in a different perspective, as everything's a teaching moment. So when you go through life in that mindset, everything starts to kind of work itself out. So just allow it to work itself out, allowing those things to dissolve, and just keep working, right? All right, next one we have for the Cancers. Okay, we have keep your heart open, right? So this could be a sign of throughout all your life choices, throughout anything, relationships, anything you could think of, you can apply this. You can apply anything to anything, for real, right? But this specifically, if we're talking about keeping your heart open, let's say you're in a relationship and it doesn't go well, make sure that you're not in the mindset of, especially if you actually want to be in love with somebody, make sure you're not in the mentality of saying, oh, that's it, I'm finished. No, still keep that door open. That opportunity can still present itself. It's just you're probably going to move a lot more with caution this time. You're probably going to know what you want and things like that. Sometimes we get into situations that teach us what we don't want, so that we know what we want. You know what I'm saying? So that could be a situation that you guys could be walking into, an energy that you guys can be actually adapting to, more so keeping the opportunity available. Yeah, you're probably going to move with caution, but you're keeping your heart open. You're keeping, it's kind of like if let's say you try to assist somebody, right? And maybe they was unappreciative or whatever, or they cursed you out or whatever the case is. I don't know, right? Something negative, right? That shouldn't stop you from wanting to assist others, because when it's in your heart, when you have a passion for something, it doesn't matter in the situation that you've encountered. As long as you have that passion, you're going to want to continue to do so. So if you want to continue to love someone, or continue to be in a relationship, you're going to find that other person that may or may not last your lifetime. However, it's just you don't want to block off them potential blessings for you. So you want to keep your heart open. You want to keep that opportunity open out there for you. Be smart and things like that. Be rational. And know what you like, know what you don't like, and all of that stuff. Be practical. All of that good stuff. Be responsible. Be all of that, right? But just keep that open. Like, make sure that you guys are always keeping that door open for those opportunities, right? That could be anything, job related. It doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be anything, right? All right, I just use that as an example. Okay, next one we have for the Cancers. We have take a breather, right? Take a breather could be kind of just taking a break, right? I was speaking on this one of my videos where If you're in a predicament where you feel like you're gonna lash out at a career, job, whatever the case is, and look, I know you guys are probably adults and you have freedom and you have free time. Like you could do whatever you please, is what I'm trying to say. Just because you could do it don't mean you should, right? If you're in a professional state, a professional environment, and there is someone says or whatever the case is, you got to understand these energies that are in this world are there to distract you. They are there to mess you up, mess up your bag, mess up your situation. You don't have to act the same energy, the way the energy presents itself to you. As long as there's no physical altercation, nobody swung on you or nothing like that, you do not have to turn around and lash out in a way that considers to be unprofessional in the corporate's eyes, right? You don't have to go at it, you feel me, full force. You don't have to do all of that to prove a point, because essentially you're proving them right. You're proving that that energy can control your emotions. That's exactly what they want you to do, right? So we gotta be smart about these type of things. If you need to go outside, take a smoke break. You don't have to smoke, but that's just an example. Just go take a break. Ask for a break. Take 2 seconds to just clear your mind, clear your energy, remember why you're doing what you're doing. And if you actually feel like the corporate or the organization that you work for within, plan out ways to part your ways, if that makes sense. Like make decisions to be able to come from that smooth, right? You don't have to make a huge impact, because if you do certain things in life, everything you do has a track record in society mostly. If it's like insurance, right? If you go, God forbid, but get into an accident, that is on paper now. So when you go and file for new insurance, it's going to cost more, which is going to cause you to have to earn more. It's just so much different things we got to keep in consideration. I'm not saying you have to tread lightly in life, but be smart about certain decisions that you're making when it comes down to lashing out and things like that. Take a breather if you need to. Try not to do a lot of actions off of rage, off of anger, or things like that. You're going to get angry. You're going to get upset, but try to make your best decision. Try to make your next decision your best decision, and try to just walk away, or just, like I said, unless it's bodily harm being done to you and you need to defend yourself, it is important to go ahead, take a breather, take a break from your work life or relationship life, whatever you guys need to do to just cool down, calm yourself before any words or actions are done that you weren't necessarily done if you wasn't upset. So just take a breather sometimes, right? It's important. Next one. Next, we have the Cancers. All right, we have make time for self-love. If you don't love yourself, you can't love no one else. You can't give what you don't have, right? So just keep this in mind when it comes on to having love for others or having love in general. You need to make time for self-love. This could be attending things that you once loved. Like, there's a lot of people that probably didn't make it to the leagues as far as basketball, football, or any of their dream jobs or dream journeys that they thought they was going to obtain. However, there are people that still take on the consideration of going to their grandkids' baseball games and things like that, more so to kind of enlighten, not only to show support, but they also enlighten themselves because they remember when they used to be that age and things like that. So if you guys got to go to games or got to go to races or got to attend things that you once had passion for, even if you're not necessarily playing them, do so. Find things in your day, your journey, that you kind of can hold dear to your heart, building memories, not really, and I don't want to say it in a selfish manner, but you're kind of thinking of yourself in these type of situations, because in life, in order for you to help others, you got to be able to help yourself first and foremost, right? So if the same rules apply when it comes on to showing love, you got to start implementing time within your day, whether it's making your favorite meals, going for a walk, whatever the case is. Even if it doesn't mean you're by yourself, at least make a decision type of thing. Meaning, like, let's say you're with a partner and you guys decide, okay, today is my day, we're gonna go do this. Tomorrow is your day, we're gonna do what you want to do. That's kind of still creating time for you guys selves, but just on different days. So you're still involving yourself with each other, but you're just kind of making that decision to do you guys are kind of agreeing to do what you hold dear to your heart. So this just kind of having time for yourself. So I just broke that down to you guys. I know, like, maybe you guys have kids and stuff. You really can't just lock yourself in a room and things like that. So you can engage other people in your activities as long as it's something that you generally want to do and it's something you would do if you was by yourself. So, right? So yeah, keep that in mind. Making time for self-love. All right, next one we have for the Cancers. Okay, we have honor your feelings, right? So how things make you feel, like, excuse me, you only have one life, right? And I'm gonna piggyback on what I said, earlier, as far as like being rational about your decision making and things like that. If something that you generally don't want to do anymore, you can make the best choice how to come away from it. If you're not getting to uphill any contracts or anything like that, at least don't walk away in a violent manner and break stuff. And you ain't got to do all of that extra stuff. You ain't got to prove the negative energy right or correct about how you go about doing things. Now, when it comes on to leaving positions or doing anything like that, you got to make sure that you honor how you emotionally feel. Like, if you emotionally feel like certain things, and I'm talking about certain things that are okay to leave behind. I'm not talking about, I mean, to be honest with you, if you're talking about, because I know there's people that for some reason feel some negative way about their kids and things like that, and they display it. At that point, you gotta reach out to people, government officials or whatever, that can help you and assist you with legally handing over your responsibilities if you feel the need not to, and you don't want to put yourself in positions that you can actually be criminally charged for neglect, right? So that's just my personal opinion to shout out there to the world. It's like there's better ways to go about doing things. If you so hardly feel that way, you want to give up your rights, there's way better ways and more mature ways to give up your rights to your kids and things like that, rather than leaving them and abandoning them because they didn't choose to come here. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to honor your feelings in a negatively or positively manner, just take in consideration of the effects that it's causing, right? Again, we have to speak on the negative as well. So now, on a positive note, let's just talk about it's something slight like a career choice. It's nothing to do with your kids or your cleaning ability or your cleaning needs. Anything needs, we just discussed that, right? There's better ways to sort them out. Now, positively, let's talk about wants. Your wants is more like careers, because you don't need to work a certain job. You have last time I checked, depending on what country you're in, of course, but last time I've seen in the world, it's kind of changed. It's not like how it used to be. So pretty much anybody can pretty much get any career job they want for the most part, right? You can change around, right? You probably might not get your specific ones that you desire, but there is a lot of options out here, or there is multiple options, I should say. Not a lot, but multiple. So you can kind of change around. That could be more of a want factor if you want to change around your careers and things like that. Just ensure that you go off of how you necessarily feel. And if you feel a certain way about a specific situation, make moves to be able to change that around. Make moves to, especially when an opportunity presents itself, make moves to change that. So, that could be something that you guys are getting involved in. You guys could be honoring your feelings, honoring how you feel about situations, maybe expressing yourselves and things like that, right? All right, what's next for the Cancers? Okay, we have reflect on your priorities. Again, there are things that if we need to do, there's better things. There's ways that we can go, that we can sort them out if there are priorities that you feel like you don't need to. But for people, not for people, but for you guys that want to handle all your needs and things like that, look at the things that you need to do. Look at all your responsibilities, all your priorities, all of these different things that are obligationaries that you guys need to sort out. Write them down, write them on a piece of paper, whatever the case is. Write a list, write a schedule, whatever it is that you need to do to ensure that you're handling all your business at appropriate time, right? So reflecting on all your priorities is what you're going to be doing. What else are we going to be doing for the Cancers? We have release control. They want you guys to have release control over, I would say, I'm not saying, listen, I don't want you guys to take it literal. It's not about, when they say release control, it's not necessarily don't, try your best to obtain things and control in the environments, but don't feel like the world, like you're, like, how can I put this? Okay, you know how people like want a house and all that, right? And that's cool, but you know, you can only really do like, okay, look, what I found with life when it comes down to happiness or whatever, just me personally, but look, I found it's much easier to just do what you can and let everything else go. You know what I'm saying? Because if we kind of try to force it, like it's not working out for us. So we're gonna do certain things. We're gonna work more hours. We're gonna do more things. Because sometimes, like they say, it's not about what you're into. Sorry, no. It's like, okay, like certain careers pay more than others, right? So it's like, would you spend your whole life doing something you hate to obtain a material that you're cool with, but then you never get to spend time in it anyway? You know what I'm saying? Or you spend so much time trying to gain it that you never get to enjoy it. If this makes sense to you guys, which means like some things I just feel like, you know, it might be out of your hands. Like, you know, it's like some things is just out of your hands. So I would say try your best to, yes, work towards your goals and things like that, but don't get too caught up in it. Release that really, you can still have, you're gonna have them temptations, but release control over trying to make things play out how you want them to play out. You know, because things are not gonna play out. Sometimes things don't play out for a good reason. Sometimes you might start something, a task or business or whatever, and it might just go down like crashing on, and it's like you be thinking like, oh, that's for the worst reason. Oh, my life is over. I'm like talking, I'm trying like my life is over and all of that. But then next thing you know, it's like when COVID hit, right? When COVID hit, how much people transferred online and improved their companies, and this like, you know, everybody thought the world was going coming to, you know, a disaster, and then next thing you know, people's new opportunities came. So it's like that. It's like, for me, I found it a lot easier just to let it go. Do what you need to do. Put the work in, right? Put whatever work in. Like they say, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Put the work in, but everything else, just let it be. Like, let it be, because you trying to control it, you're stressing yourself out, and that's not gonna make anything better. You know what I'm saying? So release control over those type of things is what I'm trying to initially say. I'm just trying to add more examples so you guys can feel what I'm trying to get at without me sounding like I'm telling you what to do, or without, you know, just me telling you to let go of your dreams and desires. It's not what I'm saying. I just feel like if you let it go and allow things to work itself out, let the timing take place when it's needed to, and you just kind of focus on one, putting in your work, and two, being happy about putting in your work, things will happen in a certain time. Because if you're so focused on getting certain items at a certain age and this, when you don't get those items at that certain age, you get miserable, you feel like giving up, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna quit, everything's, you know what I'm saying? Then let's say you quit it, and then next thing you know, say you would have stayed on that journey for another year, you could have got it, but now you got to start all over again because you were so focused on getting those specific needs, or not needs, because they're not needs, because all you need is food and water. You were so busy getting the specific wants and desires that when them times came that you expected them to, because you feel like you had put in enough time or work, because you're so focused on those, you don't focus on yourself. So you're focused on these. That time come that you expected it to happen, it don't happen, and now you're upset, now you're miserable, now you quit, and then you just messed up your whole situation. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's better just to find something you generally want to do, right? Work towards it. Whatever blessings come with that, accept them. You know what I'm saying? Certain things you're not gonna be able to get other things, and that's fine. Like, that's where you have to kind of ask yourself, is it what I'm doing, is it to obtain items, or is it generally because I want to do it? That's how you really know. You know, when you start paying more attention to things that you attract versus the service that you deliver. So you just got to keep that in mind. All right. Last one we have for you guys is, for the counters, detoxify. This is like separating yourself from any toxic energies, any toxic behaviors, even toxic habits, right? Because we often feel like everybody else is the problem and we don't necessarily look at ourselves. That's one of the biggest issues we have, because sometimes sometimes, like they say, someone that allows it is just as bad as somebody that is doing it sometimes, right? I'm not saying that the, like, if somebody, okay, if somebody's committing a crime and somebody's sitting there watching them commit the crime, they say they're just as bad. I'm not saying that as bad, like 100%, but they kind of play a role if that person can't stop them. Meaning, like, if if it's a situation, I don't want to get too detailed, but if it's a situation to where they do have the ability to prevent it or to stop that person and things like that, and they choose not to, then they kind of get blamed for it in a sense. So coming away from our habits as well, like if you have, it doesn't always have to be negative. Sometimes it could just be work on points. Sometimes it could just be situations that we could work on. Like if you are a procrastinator and things like that, like you take longer than you need to or longer than you should starting a task and things like that, especially tasks that are needed to be done. Maybe you might go on your cell phone. Maybe you might just procrastinate, right? Any sort of procrastination. Working on those points on trying to get things done out the way. Maybe you might have to reward yourself. Maybe you might have to trick yourself into starting it. You might have to do something like saying, okay, the quick I finish this task, the quick I can move on to something I enjoy, something like that, right? But detoxifying doesn't necessarily just always mean pulling yourself away from negativity, but it's also about seeing how you can improve your negative situations. I'm not saying they're negative, like they're bad, they're damaging, but it can be improved. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like look at yourselves as well as others. You know what I'm saying? So that you can improve yourself and you can kind of do your best to separate. It's like sugar, right? They say sugar. They say sugar. Too much sugar is bad for you. Whatever, right? That's what they say. So it's like if you take. I'm trying to put this in a way that makes sense. Okay, let's say sugar, right? Hold on, no, I don't even think I want to use an example. I'm just trying to say, just use less of anything that they say is bad. Just use less of it. The less you get to it, the better it is, right? So it's like you don't necessarily have to take 100% of sugar away, but you can take a few doses away. Like you're not gonna be perfect, but just try your best to improve yourself by just extracting anything like procrastination. Like we all do it, but to get closer and closer to your goal, you just want to improve yourself daily. So that's all I'm trying to say. You're gonna slip up here and there, but the main thing is to get closer and closer to becoming the best of you as possible, right? Not the best of the best, but the best of you personally. So that's just my personal opinion on detoxifying ourselves, right? Or our environments and things like that. That's going to finish up the video for the cancers. Please let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next video.